guys, and welcome to my final installment of me ranking the Moffat era episodes. So, I don't know, it really meant a lot to me. I said this a little bit in the first one that I did. It really meant a lot to me that you guys liked this so much last time around that I've been really happy to do it again. But it was just so hard ranking these. I've said that over and over again, and oh, man. These top 10 are all stellar in my opinion, and yeah, let's just get right into it. Number 10 on this list is a rough one for me. The Time of the Doctor. It was really rough for me, and I think it is worse not knowing when a regeneration is coming, and I didn't know that that's when. Throughout like especially the end of season 7, I was kind of thinking that we were going to get close to 11's end, but man, when I watched Time of the Doctor, I lost my mind. But going back to it and everything, which I still bawled. It's really great. I think it's a sweet story and a great story that ends 11's Doctor. You know, I love the resolution of everything. I know that they had to kind of explain how he would get more regeneration, so I liked so many aspects of this Christmas special that I think it's really there were so many little tidbits to his run as the Doctor, and I just absolutely loved that for him. And yeah, I was just a very big fan of the way that they were able to wrap up his story, even though it kind of really hit me. To me, obviously, 11 is my Doctor, but obviously it was the most emotional final scene for a Doctor, and there was something so beautiful about his final words, and that you can always change and that's okay, and it was just something that I really related to at the time. I guess I still do. I think a lot of people can, and I feel like those last words were just so beautiful. Him taking off the bow tie was too much. I didn't like that. And obviously Amy showing up destroyed me on so many levels. I adored kind of his final scene, and it was the end of an era for me. It really was. I feel like this kind of me just catching up in general is the end of an era for my channel, but that was really an end of an era for me, of the kind of the dynamic and the man that made me fall in love with the show. Anyway, moving on. Number 9 on this list is World Enough and Time and the Doctor Falls. I cannot express how phenomenal I think this two-parter is. I think both parts are very different and great in their own right. The first part is scary. I mean, I don't think I've ever had more fun like watching an episode trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and then the Cyberman reveal with Bill, and then the Master reveal, and it was like, woo! Oh my God, there's just so much shit going on, and I loved it. And then the Doctor Falls is kind of a beautiful ending to 12. Tragic and beautiful, and that you always have to try, and I believe that 12's final speech to both the Master and Missy was one of my favorite moments that 12 ever had. So it just, I don't know, I love this two-parter. It means so much to me, and it was the absolute best part of season 10 for me. Number 8 on this list is Day of the Doctor, the 50th anniversary special. So much fun, so much to put into it. And honestly, I do not know if like Moffat had a bit of a breakdown before writing it or whatever, but that's so much pressure. It really is a lot of pressure, and I know he had to kind of make it work. So I met the Zygons for the first time. Was not the biggest fan, to be honest, but I loved that he kind of incorporated, obviously the War Doctor and that whole story, but he also incorporated 10 into the mix. And it would have been nice if 9 was there as well, but I understand why not. But it was quite lovely to have, 10 and 11 kind of bouncing off each other for everybody who was fans of both of them, maybe one more than the other, but it was just such a beautiful, and oh Lord, the eyebrow shot. Oh Lord, the eyebrow shot. I love it. I love it. That scene, it just gives me chills every time I watch it, where just all of the Doctors show up, and I just adore it. And I think that I love the final bit where all the Doctors are standing together, and it's very beautiful. There's just so much fun about that 50th anniversary special, and I think so fondly of it. And it's hard for me. I was almost positive that I was going to put Day of the Doctor and Time of the Doctor kind of higher up on this list, because as I've said before, sometimes my interactions with you guys influence how fondly I think of an episode. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive. Most of the time it's positive, a good portion of the time. And to have the amount of love that you guys gave me in the last Doctor Who December, it meant the world to me. Oh my God. And especially it just kind of wrapped up a year that was kind of tough for me, and it just meant everything. And particularly Day of the Doctor, you guys were so lovely. Some of you guys were just like waiting on Christmas Eve to get it, and I know that you would probably rather hang out with your families and stuff like that. So it just meant a lot to me, and I just have very, very fond memories of that episode. Number 7 on this list, we're going into another one that destroyed me, just completely destroyed me, and that is The Angels Take Manhattan. I guess I love pain if I'm putting them so high on this list, like Time of the Doctor and Angels. Which one did I cry more? I'm not sure. But I think when I think back at it, as much as like I lost 11 in Time of the Doctor, I lost my dynamic, my favorite team in Angels, and my soul did not recover from it. They were my favorites. The 3 of them just mean so much to me, plus River, 4 of them. And I love that River was in it. The Statue of Liberty thing was a little like, oh, what, nobody's watching it. I understand that. But can you do one in New York and not have the Statue of Liberty be a weeping angel? I don't know. I mean, part of me is like, you gotta kind of give it that. But yes, I understand the complaint with that. I loved that it was in. Did you guys remember my reaction? I was so excited they were in New York. I was like, oh, my favorites are in New York, and it's my home, and oh my God. And then just it all went bad. It all went very, very bad. And there were angels and everything. And then a little fucker makes me think that Amy and Rory are okay, so everything's fine, but it wasn't. Those final moments with the Doctor and Amy, when she says Raggedy Man goodbye, it's probably the saddest moment of Doctor Who for me so far. I would assume. I think. Yeah. So yep. Yep. It just, kind of hurts my heart to think about. But in general, I do think it was a lovely, very sad farewell to the Ponds, and I'm still not over it to this day. Number 6 on this list is The Husbands of River Song. This episode, I believe, checking, yep, I believe is my favorite Christmas special. I had to check to make sure nothing was ahead of it. There was something so fun about it, and there is just an undeniable chemistry between Alex and Peter that I loved, that I didn't know I needed more of, you know, and I really enjoyed, you know, this story. And yeah, at the beginning of it's kind of silly and fun. We get to meet Nardi. You know how I feel about Nardi. You know. And it's kind of silly, and it's like she doesn't know, but such brilliant moments where she realizes he's the Doctor, and when all of this stuff kind of happens, and then that final scene. And for an episode to really... That scene made this plummet to the top of the list, where they're standing together and he lets her know how long a night is on Beryllium. It's just beautiful. And you just think about the time that he spent with her. It's so emotional, and it just, I loved it, and it was something that was kind of happy but sad at the same time, and I just adored this episode. And yeah, I think it takes the spot for my favorite Christmas special so far. Number 5 is The Pandorica Opens and the Big Bang. It's my favorite finale to date, and if you guys were curious, I don't think it surprises anybody, season 5 is my favorite season. I rewatch it a lot. I love it. Oh God, it was such a satisfying end to the crack in the wall arc, and I loved it. And there was just so much going on. And Rory showed back up, and what was going on with that? And then there's all of this, and then like it's just. When, God, I don't know what it's called, but when like Geronimo comes up on that screen, when 11 is kind of sacrificing himself. Oh my God, I felt so much emotion with that, and it just, I cannot express how thankful I am for season 5, that it really made me feel so much for this show. And the ending was beautiful with the something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. I mean, these people, and I just felt like it was a finale that really focused on a beautiful relationships that were forming, wonderful character arcs, and also some really great plot payoff. And I think, what more can you ask for? I love it. Number 4 on this list is Vincent and the Doctor. If you guys, I had a feeling that 11 was going to be my Doctor. This was the episode that I knew. Such a beautiful episode. The man who played Vincent was impeccable. Oh, just, and for an episode that focuses on kind of defeating a, let's be real, giant alien chicken, and then when that giant alien chicken, I know it's a Crephaeus, you don't have to correct me, but I'm just saying, when that giant alien chicken dies, and then you're like crying about it, you're really sad about it, and you're like, oh Jesus, I didn't know I was gonna get this emotional, and all of this stuff just so much emotion, but that's nothing compared to kind of the last few scenes where they bring Vincent to the museum, where they kind of realize that that didn't really change the course of anything, and seeing for Amy on the painting, there's such beauty in that episode that I just think cannot be touched by so much other writing that's out there. And it really just, it affected me in a very strong way. At the time when I watched that, I was going through some very serious, and I don't like saying depression. I really don't, because I think that's, personally, myself, I think that's a word that gets thrown around a lot, and I think it's much more serious. Anyway, not to get into that, but I was going through a difficult time and did not think very highly of myself. And it was that episode that really got me. Really got me. And yeah. Anyway, it just meant so much to me, as I think it means a lot to a lot of people. Number 3 on this list is The Girl Who Waited. This episode, I feel like, is brilliantly written and really sad and leaves you with a kind of pit in your stomach that you can't get rid of. I adore it, even though it makes me cry. It was a story that, it really focused on Amy, but I felt like it really focused on Amy and Rory's relationship and who they were. And it just meant so much to me. I love what they were able to do with just, it's kind of a standalone episode. It's kind of very contained into one episode. And it's the one that I think really stands out and really breaks my heart, and really solidifies Amy as the girl who waited, and the tragedy of everything. That final moment with Amy and Rory kind of through the TARDIS door, the older Amy, is, I think, really showcases what they could do with Amy and Rory's characters, and what a good thing they had with the chemistry of these two characters. And it's beautiful. And I love it. Number 2 on this list is You Better Give Me Some Badass 11 Up in here. I rewatch it all the time to get my honey being like just a king. And that is A Good Man Goes to War. I love this episode. And what I love about this, let's not even talk about the episode yet. What I love about this episode is somebody like an asshole tweeted me the reveal in the episode. You guys know the story, and I went in kind of saying, listen, I know this. Somebody was an asshole and tweeted it to me, and we're not going to get into that or whatever. But you guys still love the reaction. You guys were still like, oh, this is great. We had such a good time watching, whatever. So that's to you. Not to you guys. That's to the person who spoiled me. I don't know if they're still watching. But it's so... I love that. And I think fondly of that, because it just makes me really happy that you guys still embraced me and embraced the reaction, even though I was spoiled. Now, let's just get into the fact that, my Lord, so many moments I love, and it's just Amelia Pond, get your coat. Yes. Oh, my favorite. And there's sad moments where the baby goes through, oh my Lord, I screamed, but then there's the badass Rory moment, and then we have the river reveal, which is just so beautiful between her and Eleven, and I love it, and then he gets kind of giddy about it, and like, I cannot tell you how much I love this episode. It's just one, whenever I'm having a bad day, it's like, what should I do? I guess I should just watch A Good Man Goes to War because it's just gonna make me feel better about life. I love everything about, oh God, such a fun episode, and such a, we have the Paternoster gang coming through, you know what I mean? Like, oh, just so much iconic moments in this episode. I adore it. Some sad moments that just with Eleven and Amy and Rory and Baby River, and then they just, oh my God, and then just, oh God, I cannot express how much I love this episode. I really can't. I can't put it into words. And number one, I think you guys have guessed it at this point, and I was kind of thinking what's going to be number one, because it's just, I mean, honestly, anything in this top 10 or in the top 20 could have been number one for me. I really loved a lot of these episodes. But the one that I like look back on, and it's the start of something beautiful for me. It was the start of something very significant for me. If Matt Smith didn't play 11, and if Stephen Moffat didn't write 11, or all the other writers and stuff, the way that they did, or the way that he did, who knows if I would have been as invested. Who knows if you guys would have gotten a Doctor Who December, you know what I mean? And the 11th Hour is the perfect opening episode for a Doctor. It's, you know, it's kind of standalone, even though there's some parts of it that really come up again and stuff like that. And just the dynamic of Eleven and little Amelia right off the bat, I'm here for it. And it's just something that as time went on, I grew to love more and more and more. And you know, it's the start. It's the start of 11. It's the start of the era that made me deeply love the show. I do take objection to people that say that I didn't like the show before. I don't think that's the case. I think around season 3 is when you really see the tides turning, but even in you know, season 2, I have some very fond moments of that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's obvious that it was Eleven's run as the Doctor that really solidified how much of a fanatic I became. So much that I'm doing 31 days of Doctor Who for you guys. You know what I mean? And I just don't think I could put anything above the 11th Hour. That was the start of it all. And if nothing else, it's a great episode. It's a lovely episode. And it's the start of 11 and Amy, and, you know, Rory's there too. And the scene on the roof. Oh, perfection. Matt Smith, perfection, like he's watching, you know. Perfection, Matt Smith. Just absolutely love that episode. And whenever, it's an episode that, I don't know if this is going to make sense, but when I rewatch it, which is a lot, I will say, when I rewatch it, I just start like tearing up at moments that aren't even sad, because I'm just so, it's like I wish I could teleport to when I was sitting on the couch watching it the first time and just tell myself, you know, how much, and like try to even let myself know, like, you're gonna love this so much, like, you know, I feel like That would be lovely if I could ever, you know, get in a TARDIS and go back in time and let myself know that this was the start of something so beautiful and a characters, I guess, that are going to mean so much to me. So if you are watching this video and you agree with that sentiment, I ask you guys to go over to that reaction and write in the comments. I have a message from Jess from the future, and this is the start of something beautiful. And I'll know if you guys have enjoyed this countdown, go over and do that. I love you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this countdown. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!